So in today's video, we have a very interesting case, and I'm going to say to you guys, I know not all of you make it to the end of the video, but I'm telling you, please make it to the end of the video because you will be astounded of some of the things that get mentioned today. So today, what we're going to be doing is delving into this new community, or at least new to me, and it's basically a community of good-looking men that talk about their struggles in everyday life. I never would have thought this would be a thing, especially in the male space. But we're going to go into the video that stood out to me first, was this one here. It was something on the lines of, if you're handsome working a 9-to-5 job, don't do it. That's the video we're going to be going over. That one, and also this one here, why attractive men have zero friends and don't fit in. And I definitely want to go into that one in more depth. And that is why I want to kind of talk about it on the channel, because yes, in general, we typically talk more about fitness and stuff like that. But this runs pretty close parallel because it's about men's health or men's mindset. Cool. So without further ado, I want to get into the video.
So I'm coming to you guys today in regards to being handsome and working a 9-to-5. As an attractive guy, understand that there's more for you in this life than a 9-to-5. You need to find a way to utilize your attraction to garner money.
I'm going to try and be as not biased as possible because this sort of mindset is way different to what I think in real life. But everything he just said just reminds me of what? OnlyFans. That reminds me of like girls getting to OnlyFans. They go, well, I'm too good looking to work an everyday job.
You don't want to have good looks and waste your good looks. When I was working a 9-to-5 back in the day, I was automatically viewed as an outsider because of the way I look. Now, when I started to realize that I was attractive, I was able to get a modeling contract when I left the job.
So first off, salute to my guy for getting a modeling contract. However, one thing I do want to preface, and I don't want it to come off as hate. He just looks like a normal guy to me. Like, I know modeling's kind of different. Like, modeling pretty is different to like everyday pretty. Like for example, many of the runway models in regards to women, I don't necessarily think that they're the people that I would find sexy or attractive, but they're model pretty, if you know what I mean. They have a certain aesthetic, the way that they have certain like cheekbones to facial structure. I'm pretty sure those you watching may roughly understand what I mean. It's like a certain sort of look that model pretty kind of have. So he may have that. But in everyday life, this bro to me is like a normal guy. Like, I wouldn't think he's ugly. I wouldn't think he's good looking. I would just say he's normal. But bro's talking like he's like the most beautiful man on the planet.
Pause.
And many attractive guys face this same problem because you've been brainwashed to believe that the 9-to-5 is your final destination. Now, there's nothing wrong with working a 9-to-5. Maybe you're attractive and you just want to work a 9-to-5. That's okay. But to think it's your final destination and it's all you can do, that's where the problem comes in.
No, the problem comes in when you speak like this. This isn't normal. For example, given the next video we're going to talk about in a minute, where he's talking about why handsome men don't have friends, listen to some of the stuff he kind of thinks about other people that are at jobs.
A lot of the people in the 9-to-5 are not your friends. These people will gossip behind your back, have you flabbergasted because you thought that was your friend. Go to work and not for friends, especially as an attractive guy.
The thing I don't get is, what does the attractive guy have to do with it? Everything he said, I will, up until that point, I do kind of agree with. Like, don't be too friendly with people at work, because there are definitely some people at work that people call their friends when they're really acquaintances, because they will, like, if something goes wrong, they'll throw you under a bus. That's just how work goes. Everyone's scared for their own job. So I agree with that bit. However, there's many people that have built lifelong friendships from work, especially like an adult. Like, say you move city and all you have in that city now is your job. You make friendships there. That's how you build friendships. If you're just cutting off one of the main places you are most of the day, and if you don't do any other activities outside of work, how would you possibly make new friends? Like, you have to think, there's a reason why teachers used to always couple up because they're at work most of the time, which is why teachers would always end up marrying other teachers, because that is their main point of socialization. That's their job. That is how they find friends and also lovers. So if you're saying automatically never do it, straight away for the majority of your male audience, if they don't exercise or have any other fun activities they do, you've cut off the main pipeline they're going to have to build any sort of friendship. So to me, this isn't good advice, but you'll soon see there's a trend of anything negative in the workplace. He will just add on the phrase at the end, as an attractive guy.
The conversation that's going to be going on about you as an attractive guy is why are you even here in the first place? If you're a handsome guy, you're going to be viewed as an outsider simply because of your looks.
What?
I can honestly say, of all the annoying dudes I've worked with in my life, not once have I thought to look at them and go, why is he here? He's good looking. No man says that stuff. No man does. This is just crazy. Guys, I know many of you are watching, good 1,000 of you watch these videos. Please comment down below. Have you ever in your life, and be honest, have you ever at work just looked at some guy and said, why is he working here? He's just too good looking. I could almost bet my house that 99.9% of you have never thought that in your life, because I truly don't believe this person is putting this on. I truly believe he thinks this way, and he has garnered a community that also think this way. So I don't want to label him as cringe, but definitely it's getting in that direction. So we're going to move from that point because he stands by it. If you're good looking, do not try and make friends at the workplace, which I don't agree with. I'm not saying you got to be best buddies, but there are definitely some friendships, especially as you get older, you can make. But if I'm being completely honest, some of the friends I literally had the most fun with was actually when I was younger. When I used to work at Odeon Cinemas, we had like a clique of about 10 of us. And we were very, very tight-knit. We did trips out of city together. We did bare stuff together. So I definitely want to nail home, you can be friendly at work. So for now, I'm going to move past that topic because I'm pretty sure we'll reference it a little bit in the next video. However, this bit here, he starts talking about how to work smarter as an attractive guy.
Understand, as an attractive guy, working harder does not mean making more money. Working smarter now with some hard work, now that can generate you a whole bunch of money.
What does that have to do with being an attractive guy? Some of the stuff he's saying is full on true. Like, working smarter is better than just working harder. But that applies to everybody. Like, he's just tagging on as an attractive guy to try and bring home points that would make sense even without that little bit tagged on.
Work smart. If you're an attractive guy, think to yourself, what can I do right now to garner money with my attraction? That's exactly what I did. 2 different modeling contracts I was able to garner. One was when I was 18 and one when I was 21. So you have to understand, you have to work smarter. Work smarter.
So in regards to his work smarter, the only thing that he's more or less said is that become a model. But let's be real, even if you are really good looking, getting into that industry isn't easy. Not everybody can become a model. There's various things. And also there's different levels of modeling too. Like, for example, you can be hired for a modeling job to just take the odd pictures for a certain brand like Nike or something. That's just a one-off gig. To have modeling as your full-on career, you need to be consistently getting jobs. And I know of people that are in that kind of industry because of obviously influencers that I know that like having deals, you know, getting the odd brand with like Boohoo Man, and then sometimes they're here and there. It's not fast work all the time. Like, unless you're like the top percent of them, you're not getting consistent work. They end up having to have like kind of a main kind of part-time job, and then they do the modeling thing as and when they get jobs. So it's like a side thing. It's like a side hustle. So I'm not against like side hustle. If you're good looking and want to do a side hustle as modeling and you get jobs and you potentially make a career, then more power to you. However, this isn't the solution for most people. I'm pretty sure all 15,000 of your subscribers, right? All the ones that believe in this thought, not every single one of them is going to be able to get a modeling job. So what are you going to do then?
So guys, understand that there's a certain way you need to move in a 9-to-5 if you're an attractive guy. And if you're an average looking guy watching this or unattractive, you can still apply everything I've said in this video.
How? If everybody in this video that's not attractive can apply everything in the video, then it doesn't matter about you being attractive. That literally defeats the whole point of the video.
Not a great plan.
That just literally proves that the video isn't about being handsome. It's just about being a man at work, or simply just a person at work at some cases. This video, if it was just about how to survive in the workplace for 9-to-5, it would probably be a good video. But because he's added on that as an attractive guy, it almost deducts points. Now, as for this video, why attractive men have 0 friends and don't fit in, this one we are going to run through real quick, because I feel like if you've watched the video up until this point, I do feel like you've probably already started to see some of the breadcrumbs as to why this is the case, at least for him.
Now for this example, I wanted to use one of my personal experiences. I recently dropped some clothing, and when I dropped this clothing, I received some fake constructive criticism, and you gotta watch out for those people as an attractive guy.
He will forever stand by this as an attractive guy, but I feel like that's because that's like his niche. No matter what the topic is, he will forever just slide that into whatever he's talking about.
They have to find little ways of slick hating, is what I like to call it. There's this one guy in my comment section when I posted my clothes, and the feedback was pretty good overall, but he was saying stuff like, nah man, these clothes ain't it, trust me, just hit me up, I can sort you out some clothes.
So just to summarize this little bit, because I don't want to take it too long, he basically said because he's good looking, he got haters in regards to his business that he was trying to start up. And I've got to tell you, dude, like, I don't know if you're a kid or something, you're at least 21, because you mentioned you got your second job at 21. But I'm gonna tell you right now, there is always going to be haters. It doesn't matter how ugly or how good looking you are, people are gonna fucking hate. There are haters every single where. It doesn't matter what successful thing you do, people will hate. You know, the owner of Gymshark, Ben Francis, when he was starting his stuff, he got haters too. People were saying, oh, this clothing isn't like great, why are you selling it? Why are you getting all these people from America to wear your clothing? He got loads of hate as well. You have to just accept this is nothing to do with you being good looking or as an attractive guy. And I feel like what's holding you back is this mentality that everything that happens wrong to you is because you're an attractive guy. This isn't normal, bro. Like, this sort of mentality is why the title of your video exists. You have zero friends potentially because you feel like any slight that comes against you is because of your looks. This is literally very, very, very vain and very, very, very narcissistic. And I don't throw that word around, but because of how you think, you probably won't even notice it, but it comes out and exudes out of you. Because if you think of yourself this way, people may think of you as pompous. If, for example, people at work are trying to be friendly with you, but you seem to be very standoffish, people will start thinking, oh, he thinks he's too good to talk to us. But based off your content, you do kind of feel that way. You feel like you shouldn't engage because as an attractive guy, you've got more to lose. It's a very weird mindset. But again, maybe I'm just seeing it wrong.
That's pretty much what I found for that example. Just a bunch of slick hating you're going to receive as an attractive guy. Whereas if you're an average guy, people don't really feel the need to slick hate. People will slick hate as an attractive guy. And you might actually say average guys have it better, because if you get hate as an average guy, it's going to be straight to the point. As an attractive guy, you might not find out that someone next to you is a hater until 6-7 weeks later.
Jesus, this is, I want to know his actual age, because if he's over the age of, to be honest, the fact he's over 21 is already worrying. But if he is over the age of, say, 24, 23, and he thinks this way, it's very, very, very wild. He thinks that regular looking people do not get haters. Jesus. And I hope what I'm saying doesn't come off as hate. He just doesn't understand how he comes across, I believe. And because he's built an audience where they believe in what he's saying, they're not really calling this out.
As an attractive guy, people disguise themselves, do a bunch of slick hate until you finally have to cut them off. Do you know how many people I had around me for years before I had to finally cut them off?
Does he really believe all of those people cut him off because he was good looking? Or was it probably the personality and the air of yourself that they started to notice that you started acting different? So by now, you've probably gathered that I definitely do not agree with many of the points he makes, because I do feel like some of this, based on the stuff that he's shown us, is probably due to him. However, I do want to at least end on a topic that he mentions, which I do believe is true. Because I want to always try and find common ground in these videos. Every time I make any of these reaction type videos, I always ideally try and find the other person's perspective and try and find something I can agree with. So let's go through this bit.
Now, my next point was that there's no real help in desperate times. Now, my example for this one, August Alsina was a singer who's been through a lot in his life. And when he was at a weak point mentally, he confided in the Smith family. And when he confided in them, Jada Smith basically used this as an opportunity to have sex with him, to fuck him. When you are an attractive guy, people will take advantage of you when you're in a weak position.
Okay, I'll take you back. I didn't know that's where he was going to go with it. I thought he was going to go down the line of, because I saw someone in the comments they mentioned that if an average looking guy is more of an introvert and keeps to himself, people will just say that's his personality. If an attractive guy does the same thing, then people assume he thinks he's better than them. I can agree with that, because there are some truths in there, as I mentioned. People will naturally treat you slightly different based on your looks. That's just a fact. Whether you're fat, whether you're good looking, whether you're tall, whether you're short, you're going to get treated slightly different based on those things. But that's just life. But the way he went with it I don't agree with, so I want to make that clear. So in this video, I will admit that I definitely somewhat did fail on trying to find a good solid middle ground with him. But watching the content, I just kept leaning more and more and more towards he's bringing this on himself.
I've been in a lot of fights in my life. When you are an attractive guy, people are more hyper aware of everything you do. For example, let's say you step on somebody's shoes, they're taking it even more personal because you're an attractive guy. Whereas if it was someone average who did that, yeah, they might still feel some type of way, but they're not going to take it personal. They understand mistakes happen.
I was trying to give it like an extra 2 minutes to see if anything more profound came out. His mentality definitely will hold him back in life. If this is truly how he really feels, I think he's around 23 from the way he's talking. Very, 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 very wild mentality to have, especially as a man. You better stay a model forever, because if you go into everyday life with this sort of mentality, trust me, you are going to get into more fights if this is how you perceive other people, because this kind of mentality, the way you feel so strongly about it, is going to ooze out your skin. Like, people are going to feel the energy you give off when you're in environments with other dudes because of this air of almost superiority. And I know probably his audience will probably say that what I'm doing now is slick hating based on the definition they gave earlier, but it's really not. If you're someone at this point in the video and you feel like this is slick hating, trust me, if you have an older brother or an older cousin or a dad around, pick one of those videos I've just shown you and have them watch it in full and ask them their opinion on it. And I'll be very surprised if any of them thoroughly agree with this guy. Anyways, people, please comment down below what you think on this topic.